All right, let's get right into it. We're going to tackle one of the biggest stories in tech today. You've heard it a million times, right? AI is revolutionizing software development because it can write code. But here's the thing, that whole narrative is built on one single massive assumption. And today, we're going to pull it apart.
And this is it. This is the core belief that, seriously, billions of dollars and just countless hours are being poured into. It all comes down to the idea that the speed of building software has always been limited by just one thing.
The thinking goes something like this. Hey, if we can just get AI to type code faster, then everything else will speed up too. We'll build more, ship faster, and innovate at a pace we've never even dreamed of. It sounds pretty logical, doesn't it?
But what if the real bottleneck was never about the speed of typing? What if we're just hitting the accelerator on the one part of the system that was never actually the slow part to begin with? That's the huge question we're digging into in this explainer. To really get this, let's step away from all the hype and theory for a minute. Let's jump into a very real, very stressful scenario that, trust me, any software engineer will recognize instantly. Okay, picture this. You're on call. You're jolted awake by an alert. Something is going very, very wrong with the system. And guess what? You're the one who has to fix it right now.
And things are going downhill fast. The site is getting sluggish, users are seeing errors pop up everywhere, and one failure is starting a domino effect, taking other parts of the system down with it. The entire thing is teetering on the edge of a total meltdown, and every single second counts.
And here's the real kicker. When the engineers all jump on that emergency call, they look at the code, and it compiles just fine. All the tests are passing. But nobody, and I mean nobody, can really reconstruct the logic or the assumptions behind it. See, the code isn't broken. It's a black box. It's opaque. And in a crisis, that's way, way worse.
So that whole 2 a.m. nightmare, it points us directly to where the real friction is in software development. And it has nothing to do with writing code. It's all about everything that happens before you type and after you hit save.
So think of it like this. On one side, you've got code throughput. That's just how fast we can generate text. In AI, it's an absolute beast at this. But on the other side is decision throughput. And this is the slow, messy human part of the job. It's getting people to agree on what to build, what trade-offs to make, and why. That is the real speed limit for any organization.
I mean, really think about it. Code can be written in minutes, but the decision that justifies that code, that can take weeks of meetings, debates, endless email chains, and approvals. AI doesn't solve a single one of those human problems.
And this gets right to the heart of the issue. This isn't some newfangled idea. It's a foundational law of software engineering called Conway's Law, and it's been around since 1968. It basically says that the shape of your software will always end up looking just like how your teams are structured and how they talk to each other. So if your organization is all fragmented and communication is terrible, guess what your software architecture is going to look like? A fragmented, brittle mess. Generating code faster doesn't fix a broken communication structure. All it does is help you build a broken system more quickly.
Which brings us to the true role of AI in software development. It's not some magic wand that fixes all our problems. No, it's something way more powerful and, potentially, way more dangerous.
The Dora report, it's one of the most respected in the industry, came to a really critical conclusion. AI is an amplifier. It takes whatever processes and habits your organization already has, the good and the bad, and it just cranks the volume up to 11.
And this is where we so often get confused. AI is incredible at increasing output. More lines of code, more tickets closed. But output is not the same as an outcome. An outcome is a meaningful change for your users or your business. Building the wrong thing faster doesn't create value, it just creates waste faster.
And let's just be blunt here. A lot of companies are measuring AI adoption with these useless vanity metrics like tokens consumed or AI-generated lines of code. But like this quote says, that's not measuring transformation. It's just measuring noise. It's mistaking being busy for actually getting something done.
So if AI just amplifies what's already there, what happens when we lean on it too much without actually strengthening our own skills? Well, this leads to a new and pretty subtle kind of risk.
We like to think so, right? We assume that using these powerful tools is going to make us all smarter and more capable. But some recent research is painting a much more complicated and, honestly, a pretty worrying picture. Take a look at this number. A recent randomized controlled trial from Anthropic found that developers using AI assistants scored a whopping 17% lower on a quiz testing their mastery of the very concepts they had just used. That's almost 2 full letter grades.
I mean, the gap is just striking. The group that coded by hand, the ones that really had to wrestle with the problems themselves, they achieved 67% mastery. The group that used AI assistants, only 50%. They basically outsourced their thinking to the machine, and as a result, they just learned less.
Researchers actually have a name for this now: cognitive debt. It's what happens when a team is pumping out code with AI so fast that human understanding just can't keep up. The system works, sure, but nobody on the team can really explain why.
So if AI is going to make the simple act of writing code cheap and easy, what does that mean for the future of software engineering? Well, it doesn't mean the job is disappearing. It just means the center of gravity is moving upward.
The most valuable skills are no longer about just typing syntax. They're about high-level judgment, designing resilient systems, making those tough, irreversible trade-offs, and managing the insane complexity that AI is now helping us create at an incredible rate. And that brings us right back to where we started, full circle. At the end of the day, the real question isn't whether AI can write more code. The question is whether we are building the discipline and the understanding to manage what it creates. Because if we aren't, we are just accelerating towards a future where, at 2:17 a.m., we're left staring at a system that works, but whose inner workings are a complete mystery to us all.